You two can just sit down.
What? I don't mess with this stuff.
If I start seeing work getting done in class,
I was gone last class, so I couldn't do any work.
cool. What can you say about the other 8 before that?
It's all in my packet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah? Great. This was a handout, so we'll be good to go. It's back there. So we should have, oh no, we got one over here. Handout, who already lost theirs or did not get it in the first place?
Thank you.
Now the bonus about this is not only is it a handout that you can have in class, having all of our classes live streamed and then uploading as VODs afterwards means you can just do the whole thing in Notebook and be perfectly fine. So, we did some stuff about square roots in packet section 1.4, and it was, I think most of you thought, fairly easy, right? Like, as long as you got your perfect square list, you were good. But what happens when they're not perfect squares? And that's what this is. So it's a separate handout. You're going to have this happen more and more throughout the year, where the stuff in our packets, in our curriculum, it's not enough. There's a thing that I know you need to know how to do before moving on to geometry or whatever it may be. And if you don't know how to do this thing, you're kind of hosed. So we throw in a little bit of extra like this. Someone help me out. Where'd we end off?
14.
Okay, so we got the first 3 rows.
Yes.
All right. So down here, this will be a little bit of an expansion of what we were doing last time and some review of what we were doing last time. Okay. We said that a square root, radical land is like mathematical Vegas. What happens in radical land stays in radical land. But also what is outside of radical land stays outside. Everything we've been doing so far says simplify them. So like this wouldn't be here. Don't do that. So I would have broken up that 10 into 2 times 5, its prime factors, and I would look for pairs. What times itself? Well, I don't see a pair of 2s. I don't see a pair of 5s. I don't see a perfect square. Nothing can come out of radical land. But what I can do is when I smash those 2 together, first we're going to try to get Frank uncross-eyed here. It's just a little off, and it's bugging me. Okay. I'm going to take the stuff that is outside of radical land, and I'm going to multiply it. 3 by 4 is what? I'm going to multiply the stuff that's inside radical land. 60. Okay. Now this can be simplified. Really, that's the only thing new past what we were doing last week. Is if I have more than one radical and I'm multiplying them, outside goes with outside, inside goes with inside. But then I have to make sure my answer is still simplified. Like if we went way back in the day and I said 3/4 plus 1/2. Y'all remember how? See, I can't say that the pieces of this pizza and the pieces of this pizza are equal. right? I can't combine those because they're not worth the same. I can't say 3 apples plus 1 orange is now 4 banapples. Okay? Instead, what if I did this? Now are they all the same? I take this times 2 over 2. Now I have 2 fourths. Now I have 3 fourths and 2 fourths is 5 fourths. Okay? But what happens if I was doing all of this in a higher order? What if I instead said 6/8 plus 1/2? Like this. At the end of this, I would have 10/8. This is the same as this. Right? They both have 2 in common, so I can divide. I never left my answer as 10/8. I would never leave it like that because I can simplify. Just like on radicals, I will never leave it as 12 squared to 60 because that's not simplified. What we need, bud? You lost yours? Oh, I said if you lost yours or if you weren't here, I just got some extras up here. Normally, I'm going to have your guys's because I've only got 3 bins back there. I need to get another one. Okay. I need to simplify this the same way that I did fractions all the way back in elementary and middle school. Option 1, I go to my perfect square list. 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, on and on and on. I go to my perfect square list and I start under 60. What's the biggest perfect square under 60?
49.
Grab a calculator. Can I do 64 divided by 49 and it come out nice?
It'll come out as a decimal.
Okay. So that one's out. Or that was too big. That one's out. Can I try 36? Do 60 divided by 36. Does it work? Y'all got buttons?
Nope.
Nope. Try 25. Nope. 16.
No.
You sure? Okay. 9. All the way down to 4. So since 4 goes in there, I would rewrite this as 12 square root of 4 times what makes 60? 15. And the square root of 4 is 2. And what's outside of radical land stays outside of radical land. They all jam together. So I'll multiply those two together and call it 24 square root of 15. This is one way to do it. If you know your perfect squares, if you don't mind pressing a lot of buttons on your calculator, that can work. The other way, you know what? I may not like having to shovel snow out from underneath my truck. But if I slid off the edge of the driveway and I'm now hung up in a snowdrift, I'm going to do what I need to get unstuck. If I'm stuck, I can always go back to old school factor trees. What times what makes 60? 5 and 12? Okay. 5 is one of those prime numbers. It doesn't break down at all. Just 5 and 1. But 12 does. I heard 2 and 6. 3 and 2. So I can rewrite that now and say This isn't 12 square root of 60. This is 12 square root of everything at the ends of the branches. 2 by 2 by 3 by 5. I'm looking for pairs. Pairs of things that'll come out. There's a level 2 guard in front of the door to radical jail. 2 of them will rush the guard. Only 1 gets out alive. They're just 2 different ways to think about it. Okay? 2 different ways to think about it. I still have a 24 on the outside. I have a 3 and a 5 left inside, so that becomes 15 inside. Okay, so that's what we did a lot of this on Thursday. We were just practicing this over and over and over. Okay? So, the only thing different now is I might multiply them, or I might have variables. So, outside with outside. I don't see any 1 outside here, so I know it's just a 1. So I take 1 times 3 on the outside. Inside, take 3 times 3 is 9. X squared times x to the 4th. Y'all remember what we do with exponent times exponent? Okay, x squared times x to the 4th. Rule number 2. I'm going to add my exponents together. So I've got, so I can either rewrite the whole thing. There, let's get uglier with it. I can say that's 1 times 3 on the outside. That's 3 times x squared times x to the 4th on the inside. Or I can write it like this. Okay, same difference. Bonus. 9 is one of our special numbers. One of our perfect squares. What is the square root of 9? 3, right? Just go to your perfect square list. Do you remember what we did with the variables? That was 2 classes ago. X to the what? Squared makes x to the 6th, right? You always cut it in half because an exponent raised to an exponent I multiply. So the opposite of multiply is to divide. I'm going to take 6 and divide it by 2. I'm going to have a x to the 3rd out here. Who's left in radical jail?
No one.
No one. So it all comes out. That just is what it is. I say 3 by 3 is 9 because they're both outside now. X to the 3rd. That's it. Now, I wrote everything out like this, and they happen to be perfect squares. I don't have to do it like that. Say I'm just stuck. I could say that's a 1 and a 3 on the outside, a 3, a pair of x's, that's x squared, and 1, 2, 3, 4 x's is x to the 4th. Keep circling those pairs and bringing them outside. There's a pair of 3's, 1 gets out. A pair of x's, 1 gets out. A pair of x's, 1 gets out. A pair of x's, 1 gets out. Okay? So if you don't know your perfect squares, you can always write it out longhand and just keep taking out pairs. It's a good way to get unstuck. And we put it all together. Oh, wait, back up. You know what? I want you to try this one. Can you break up 20 like we were doing last time? And then the variables are both even exponents. So you just cut them in half and bring them outside. Try it. Nice small number. Never did do it. There we go. Here, that one's here. Here, that one's here. Here. Either find the biggest perfect square that goes into 20, or break it up with a factor tree. Both ways work. When we do our quiz on Wednesday, yeah.
Also, you said you would have the exam on Friday.
Life happened. Life happened hard. Actually, thank you for reminding me. We need to talk about that. Well, I can't change my whole family getting sick. I can't change bringing my kid into the ER. I'm sorry. Life happened. Yes.
You know how you said that you'd write a shuffle places that would hire?
Yeah, I had a whole bunch up there at the beginning of the year, and our custodian erased them because I didn't put save on there.
I actually know a few.
Well, go ahead and write them up there, and then we'll just put save.
I'm terrible at spelling. Chloe, you want her to write some stuff?
How about we do this first?
You want us to do both or just one?
Well, we're gonna do both, but there's a little something special about the second one. Okay? Something just a little different. There you go. Look for pairs. Take them out. You're doing right. And redone? Like it. I'm not a very observant person, so if I actually notice something, yeah. Yeah, that's just ugly.
Yeah.
Choose how to double. So it's okay to write it all the way out and circle it until you have a handle on it on your phone. Okay, don't just like on English, go ahead and write it out. Circle it. You circled it like this, so wrote it out and circled it, then you saw it, you literally saw it. Okay to do that. So the rest of it, you sort of do sometimes. So what would be helpful is if you guys are up there, you can write it out. Because if you forget about it, you can then look back at it, and that's a good thing.
Can I borrow this? Okay. Yep.
And write them out.
Like Kai's doing it perfect. Like,
Yeah, look how much I've been writing here.
okay. When in doubt, write it out. Okay. And on top of that, like they've got the perfect square list right next to it, separate sheet of paper, so you can always refer back to it. That's perfect. No, we're going to do the second one together to just to show you what's different. But I wrote 15 out 2 different ways. In blue is the long way. Like, I got no clue what's going on. But I can do a factor tree. I can break stuff down. I can grab a calculator and say 20 divided by 2. Okay, 10 is, yep, 2 and 5. Hey, those are all prime numbers. Cool, now I'm just going to write it out the long way. I don't like it, but I can do it. And then you look for pairs. You say, there's a pair of 2's. 1 comes out. There's a pair of A's. 1 comes out. A pair of B's. 1 comes out. A pair of B's. 1 comes out. What is BB? Squared, right? Because it's times itself. So I would say 2AB squared, be careful, the squared is only touching B, is on the outside. Who's left in radical jail?
5.
All by myself. Or, right here, if I had just gone for what's the biggest perfect square that goes into 20, maybe you're really good with your multiplication or your perfect square numbers. Some people are just, they got a knack for numbers. They struggle with doing the math part, but just numbers. Make sense? If that's your jam, maybe you write it like this and say the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of a to the square root of a squared. There we go. You just cut the exponent in half, a to the first. Cut the exponent in half, b to the second. It's still going to give you the same thing of a 2ab squared on the outside and a 5 left inside. They're both ways to do it. Now, I wanted to show both ways because it might help us with 16. Let's say I wrote out, I had no idea that 100 was a perfect square. So I break it up. I say, well, I know that's 4 quarters, right? $1 is 4 quarters. I know that. 4 is 2 by 2. 25 is 5 by 5. So if I was going to write this out longhand, you'd have this whole honking thing here of 2 by 2 by 5 by 5 by 1, 2, 3 X's, triple X, horrible movie. Still fun to watch. You seen like the old one, like 2002, Vin Diesel? It's so bad, but I can't help but watch it. It's so bad. Look for pairs. I see a pair of 2s. One comes out. I see a pair of 5s. One comes out. I see a pair of X's. One comes out. Uh-oh. Can I pair X and Y? They're not the same thing. So they stay in radical jail, and I have a 10X on the outside and XY on the inside. So without even knowing the trick, I can still get this done by writing it out longhand. I know that kids don't like writing it out longhand. You have this irrational fear of writing things. Like you're going to end up with carpal tunnel by the ripe age of 17. Okay? It takes longer than that. By late 20s, maybe. But not as a teenager. You're okay. Don't worry about it. Carpal tunnel syndrome, it's where the tunnel that sheathes the nerves coming into your hands becomes constricted and it starts pinching off the nerves in your hands. So it's really painful and kind of like when your foot falls asleep really bad, like pins and needles, you can't even walk on it. Imagine that, but in your hand all the time. And then they have to cut open your hand right there. They have to shove, like, you ever seen post hole diggers? Okay. You jam it in the ground, then you open them up and pull, right?
Oh God, no.
They basically put that in your hand and widen the tunnel, that sheath, back out. And then you end up with a cool little zipper scar right there. Yeah, like legit. Yeah, it looks like that because the skin on your hand is really tough, so they have to like needle the crap out of it to sew it back up. But anyway, this was writing it out longhand. There's a shortcut that says isn't 100 one of my perfect square numbers? Okay. I know y is not going to be a perfect square because it's just a y. It's not y to the second. It's not y to the fourth. It's not y to the sixth. I always needed something even, like this guy, for them to come out. But that x to the third isn't an even number. So break it up into an even number with one left over. It's a nice little trick that says if to come out of radical land they need to be an even exponent, a perfect square, maybe just make it an even by shoving one off to the side. And I say the square root of x squared is x, the square root of 100 is 10. Look at how much faster it is. Okay? So I'm try that again with, like, say I had the square root of 48 x to the fifth y to the third. I can make this go faster by finding the biggest perfect square that goes in here, 16 by 3, breaking this up into an x to even and then one off to the side, break this up into a y to the even thing and a y off to the side. If it's not even, it's not going to come out of radical land. So just take one off of there. Like, how many times have you been trying to share something? Like food. You and your brother are both going to get the same number of chicken nuggets. You stop, you're complaining, you're both going to get the same thing. But there was 15 nuggets. You know what a good parent does? Oh no, you don't cut that one in half. You slam that one real quick when they're not looking, and then you give them both 14. You know what's up. Parents don't eat meals. We just graze off of what the kids aren't eating. Okay? Like, I've got 15 nuggets. I've got to give that to goblin number 1 and goblin number 2, and they're both going to look at each other's plates and have a hissy fit about it. Well, how about I just, oh, problem gone. 14 splits evenly. Okay? That's what a, like, rational parent does. No. So,
That's what my parents did when my cousin was over.
but do you see what happens though if I just shove that one guy off to the side? Now an x squared comes out. Shove that one extra off to the side, cut that in half. Square root of 16 is 4. Everything outside stays outside. Everything inside smashes together. Okay? It's a handy little trick. You say, if it needs to be even to get out of radical jail, okay, maybe your friend groups. Hey, Mom, can you bring us to the concert that's happening at the Mountain Grand? Cool, who's all going? Well, we got Riley, we got Dylan, we got Kevin, we got Gavin. And Mom's like, I don't know about that Kevin guy. How about?
Why do parents even do that anyway?
And then,
What does it matter?
don't you just kind of leave that one in the dust so that the three of you can go? Or do you stand your ground and say it's with Kevin or die?
Or you just don't tell them about Kevin.
Or you don't tell. Well, I was assuming your parents were going to bring you there, but that works too. This idea that if something doesn't look right, you can break it up to make it look right. You just take that little one off to the side. That's okay. So, that's a day and a half. And then we come over here. I see a grand total of 22 problems up there. That is entirely too much. I would like everyone to look around on there, find a problem you think you can do. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to pick 2 problems. Do those 2 problems, and then volunteer or get drafted. So you want to volunteer early, because then you do the one you know how to do. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Give you about 5 minutes. Go find 2 problems that you think you know how to do. Do those. And then every one of you is coming up to that board. Uh-huh. You go last. Because you went first last time. So, before we leave it to the fate of the dice, do we have any volunteers?
I got the first one, but I'm still working on the second one.
That's okay. If you got one that you know how to do, you're going to go up there and do it. Which one?
That is number 2.
Okay. Get it? Hey, y'all are going to have some of your compatriots up here showing you what's what. Maybe we should pay attention, respect their time. My elders are pumping horse medicine instead of a vaccine. I do not respect them. Did you go straight there? Like from the tree?
Yeah.
Okay. Who says that just because you write some of it out longhand means you have to write the whole problem again? Weren't you able to just, like that, straight from the tree?
Yeah.
You don't have to rewrite the whole thing. Perfect.
Okay.
Attaboy. Okay. See, you want to volunteer when you know how to do this one. So you don't get voluntold to do something else. Kevin, which one you got, bud? Okay. Kevin's going to go for 5. Okay, deciding to get a little spicy. Said, I'm going to do the multiply one. I just want you to pick 2 on that page that you know how to do, or that you feel confident on, so that you can come up here and show us something that you're confident on.
Well,
If you want to bring your notebook or whatever you worked on up here too, that's fine. I don't know about you, but my short-term memory is trash.
yeah, I should throw it else. So.
Okay?
Yes.
Part of it is I genuinely struggle with executive function, the ability to start and maintain activity.
Oh, well, I just multiplied 2 and 10 because.
Okay.
So, and then, so 2 times 10 would be 20,
Okay.
and then puts 20 in here.
Now, can I simplify the 20 though?
Yes.
Yeah, there's something that goes in there. So do you prefer the I'm going to find the big square root, or I'm going to break it up? What was your jam? Or just which one did you like more? Maybe which one did you hate the least? The factor tree or guess and check with your perfect square list? There you go. Okay. Did you find it? Okay. It's using your resources.
For 20, you can break it in with 5 and 4.
Uh-huh.
And then 5 is a prime number. then break this up.
I like the vocabulary.
And put it to 2.
Okay. So square root of 20 is 5 by 2 by 2.
Yes.
What can I do with the pair of 2's? Maybe it helps if we see it, right? Square root of 5 by 2 by 2. What did we always do every time we ran across that pair? Yup. They both rush the guard, but only one gets out alive. No?
No.
The 2's. The 2's rush the guard, so the 2 comes outside. There you go. 2 square root of 5. That's it. Okay? Volunteer? All right. All right, Miss Guinevere, what do you got? We watched Onward this morning. Genevieve, Guinevere. I start with G's. Right? Come on, Guinevere is like the mythical creature in D&D. Big angry cat beast. Like, I'm a wreck your face dragon cat beast. No? Oh, boo. Okay, which one did you do? 4. Top 4 or bottom 4? Okay. So, y'all, if you're ever going to come up here and you're going to do some stuff, if I try to go up or down, it doesn't do anything, right? It took me 2 of our tech guys and an hour of the 3 of us cussing at this a few years ago to figure out that you have to go left to right first, then down. Windows 10 update. Okay. What's up?
I'm gonna do that one.
We can go big or go home, huh?
Exactly. That's why I was wanting to go.
All right.
I'm getting checked out at 1:30 today.
Okay. We'll be down to just work time by then. Okay. So we broke it up into 9 and 11. 9 is 3 and 3. I like where you're going so far. Doing the same thing Jackson did, just cut it out of the tree, right? I see a pair of 3's, cut them out. 3 on the outside, 11 on the inside, killed it. I thought you were about to just like WWE stomp on my board. Like, get wrecked, math. Okay, Riley.
I couldn't see it. I couldn't get it down.
Oh, here, we'll speed run it, write it big. Womp womp, 9, 11, 3, 3. And she just killed it right there to take the 3 outside. Okay. Hey, if you ever got a problem with that, I got a whole drawer full of loaners over here. Okay. Just ask. You good?
Jackson, I can't see.
Oh, you guys, yeah. Part the C.
Thank you, Jackson.
There you go. All right. Now, which one?
This one. Wait, do I have to click
So it's already on the Zoom. You just go left to right and then down. There you go. Womp. Look at those skills. One of these days we'll get the whole lot of you out there showing our teachers how to do it. Because withhold comment here. Keep going. So I'm seeing a lot of you are liking this factor tree one instead of guess and check. Way better. That's why I'm showing you both. I also want to make sure that when I start doing this, I want to do it the way that most of you are doing it. So I'm not confusing you by doing it in a different way. Okay. Whoa, pause! What's 3 times 3?
Or 3 times. Oh.
There you go. Now that's a really common error. I don't know why, but 6. The number 6 itself, just the number 6 itself, I swear, people will call 3 squared 6. They'll call 2 cubed 6. Just something about 2s and 3s. Rewrite that as a 3 times 2 instead. Right? 6 is 3 times 2. You have a double 3. But it's factors. What times what makes 6? Yeah, you have to swipe. You can't poke. Just Frank, dude. You just got to say it in that tone. Frank. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, but who came outside? Oh, you got the pair of 2s there. So you cross out the pair of 2s, and one of the 2s gets outside. So it's 2 on the outside, 6 is still on the inside. There you go. Now, out of curiosity here, what if, no, you're good. What you had would have been square root of 36 if you had broken that up into 4 by 9, 2, 2, 3, 3, like that. In that case, don't you have a 2 comes outside, a 3 comes outside, who's left inside? So then your answer just would have been flat out 6, right? So we just got to double check stuff, and that's why I said I want you using your calculators. Oh, for crap's sake, I just went too fast. I'm sorry. Okay, so we said 4 and 6, 2 and 2, 2 and 3. So we circled that pair and brought a 2 outside. And then we left these guys inside. Sorry about that. Sometimes I get all excited and I just want to roll. Hold on. Heads, tails. Gavin. The coin has spoken.
No.
Yeah, you good? Are you got this one? Okay. Okay. All right, which one are you doing, bud?
Number this one.
Okay. See, it's picky. You got to do it like a certain way or else Frank gets all mean about it. Okay. Right big. It's all pixelated up there like 8-bit Mario. Okay, I got to stop you. Is that a 16 or a 10?
16.
But 16 times 6.
Oh.
Okay. It's a sketchy 10. It's a 10 with a hairdo. Okay. See, that's how Frank does. Frank won't just nicely erase a little bit. Frank says all or nothing. Go big or go home. Okay, then keep going. Looking. 2 and... Okay. You got all the numbers right. You just wrote your 10 and 6 breakdown backwards, but it was still a 2, a 3, a 2, and a 5. You're good. You're good. Okay. But does everyone see how? Here, let's just 2, 5, 2, 3. There you go. 2 times 5. Okay. Here, we'll just. I kind of made a mess of Gavin's work. Sorry. 2 and 5, 2 and 3. But sometimes it can be tough if the 2's are on separate branches like that. Like, those are the times when maybe writing it out like this in order, maybe that would help. Dude, that was great. How many of you would do something just kind of wing it, like flag football wing it, like this? YOLO for math. Like, good enough. I still showed a pair of them, right? Okay. All right, Kai, you were up next. What you got, kiddo? Like a pro. Seriously, it took us like an hour of cussing at this thing to figure that out. Okay. So we got our 40 broken up. Trip 2 and a 5. A single 2 comes out. I like the attack method here. Took care of the number stuff first, and then the variables instead of all at once. I love it. Nailed it. 2x squared, y cubed, square root of, and there's still a 10 inside. Okay. Also, if y'all are ever gone, if like you got the notes, right? You got the video that's still there. So if you're ever gone, don't come to me and say, "What did we do in class?" You got plan book, you got Remind, you got YouTube. But if you're ever looking to fill in some notes, like from the work time stuff that we have individually, I know that Kai's is always dead on. Kevin's is usually pretty solid. Micah missed a couple, but when you're here, yours are usually really good. Landon's,
I know what I'm doing.
You're-
Just don't write it all as you write it.
you do everything right, you're not writing every step, is the thing. Like, you know what you're doing, but
Yeah.
if you miss steps in between, it's also more likely you're going to make a goof. But, like, get to know who in your class got their notes down solid, okay?
I was still writing it down.
Ah, I did it again. Okay.
No, I can get off Kevin's.
Speed run. Do we have any volunteers?
Yes.
You were already up there.
Yes.
Landone? Okay.
Okay, now you can press it.
All right. Get him, Landone. Get him. Get him. Rec math. So, Landon over here, Mr. Big Belt Buckle, says he's going to
Go big or go home.
go big or go home. All right. What do you got, Hoss?
Alright, so
Don't you yell at me. I want to fight.
actual problem. Then 36 goes into.
Okay. So this is the first one to come up here and go for the big perfect square instead of breaking it all up, which is good. I want you to see different ways of doing this. Okay, 36 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 108. Is there a friggin' Pokemon out in the hallway? Okay. Now, we have 108 divided by 36 was 3. So 36 breaks up into 6 and 6. Why'd you take a 3 outside instead of a 6?
Good numbers to tell you.
Okay. I want to rewind 4 minutes when I said, if you don't write it out, you're more likely to make little goofs. Okay? You know what you're doing, but you're trying to rush through. Okay? What if I took this, just kind of yeet it down there, and we said instead, what if in the middle, I just took one more step to write, well, that's 6 by 6 by 3. And then x to the 6, y to the 4th, z to the 4th with a z off to the side. Okay, now who comes out?
The 6s go out.
6 on the outside. You had all this right. Half of him,
Oh, because I
half
forgot
of
to add
him,
those, and I put that on the other side.
and then there's a 3z on the inside.
I just totally forgot about the 6s.
Okay? But it's one of those things that if you don't write it out, if you don't write the steps, we're more likely to make those errors. And that's okay. Like, making mistakes is okay. Will we be a little more likely to write that in between in the future?
Maybe.
I hope so. All right, dude. You did good. Okay. Who has not been up here yet? We got 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato, 4, 5. 5, 5, 2, 10. So if I want Shane.
Mine was already done.
Okay. Can you find one on there that looks close to it? And we can just walk through it together.
No.
Oh no! Which one did you choose?
I chose 5 and 4.
5 and 4 from the top?
Yes.
Okay. 4, 5.
4 wasn't big.
You,
Kevin did 5 and Jamie did 4.
all right.
Wow. 3.
So I'll say either 3 or 7. 3's a lot like 4, and 7's a lot like 5. Which one?
I'm just confused by all this.
That's okay. We work through it together. You got a perfect square list or a calculator on hand? Bring your calculator up here then, bud. Let's do 3. Bring your calculator up here and we'll do 3. Come on. You got this. Feeling a little iffy? Can you talk me through it from there? What's anything that goes into 72? Any number. 72 divided by meh is meh. Okay. I know there's a 6 that goes in there. So I grab my calculator and I take 72 divided by 6. Okay. Can I break up 6? Or is it? Okay. How? Can I break up 12? Okay. And we just said 6 was 2 and 3. So now you take everything that's at the end of those branches. You take this dude, this dude, this dude, this dude, that dude. And you say, I'm going to rewrite this as 2 by 2 by 2 by 3 by 3. You break it up like Tony Stark getting his little schematic in front of him. Okay? And then circle pairs. I see a pair of 2s. One comes out. What else do we see? A pair of 3s. One comes out. Everyone who's outside of radical jail gets to party together. Everyone who's inside radical jail gets to party together. In this case, he's just all by myself. And that's it. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're down to 4. All right. Volunteer, get drafted. 1. What was it? 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was 4. Okay. Oh, we got one of those kids. Gotcha. Okay. Says 4 again. It really wants Braden. It really, really wants Braden. Oh, 3. There's Pascal. Okay. Come on, dude. Well, then pick one that kind of looks like it.
We already do 5 on the top.
5 on the top we did. That was Kevin's, I think.
Okay.
7 and 8 are a lot like it. Oh, 6 is almost identical.
I'll do 6.
Okay.
Alright.
Hold on. Before you start that, there's this one thing that I need to get out of the way.
Okay.
You good?
I'm good.
You listening? Okay.
You good?
Okay. Continue.
30.
Not hiccuping anymore, are you? Oh! Thought for sure that would get you. Okay. Thought for sure that would get you. Okay. Keep going. 15 can be broken up. Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay. So take those 4 ends of the branches, put them underneath a radical. Yep, 5, 3, 2, 2.
I'm just telling the truth.
Okay, now that was the 60. You also multiplied it by square root of 5. So go throw another 5 in your radical. Now, do you see any pairs? So take a 2 out. You see any other pairs?
Yeah, 5 and 5.
Okay. So take a 5 out, cross the 5s out.
And then it's just a
So who's outside?
5 and 2.
Multiply them together. And who's still left inside?
3.
So write it as 10 square root of 3.
Okay.
10 on the outside, 30 stuck in jail. No, square root of 3. The 3 stays inside that radical sign.
Oh.
Square root, right to the right of the 10, square root. No, that's squared. Square root, the sign, the check mark, the big check mark thing.
Square root.
The symbol directly below it. The one that both the 5 and the 60 are in.
Like that.
You're killing me, Smalls.
So confused.
No. 10 goes in front, 3 goes inside.
Okay.
That's it. Okay? All right. Almost. Almost there. Dylan. Micah. Micah it is.
One day done already.
Did
Number 1?
1?
No.
Really? We haven't done 1?
No.
Get it, dude. Wait, actually, now that I think about it, no, keep going. I think it always ends up tails. I think it does.
These are tails on both sides.
Uh-uh. Well, I can use that to my advantage now. So. All right. Well, that was fast. 2 by 14. 14 is 2 by 7. There's a pair of 2s, so 1 comes out. 7 left inside. I'm cool with that. See?
Wait, Micah, wait. Don't erase.
Okay. And then down to our final 2 contestants, Dylan, Braden.
Dylan, you can go first.
Braden it is. What's one you haven't? What's one you feel like? We have already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, bottom 10.
And 1 and 2 on bottom.
And 1 and 2 on the bottom. Woof. So? Okay. It worked.
You okay? Stop. Oh my god. Go get some water. Go get some
Yeah.
water.
All right. Talk to us, Goose. Isn't 81 one of our perfect square numbers? So, what's the square root of 81? Shut your noisemaker. Yes, you can always use your resources. Right? So you cross out 81 and you put its square root on the outside. Okay. What squared makes A squared? Say it loud and proud, Dylan. A to the first, right? What squared makes A squared? Well, A. So there's A on the outside. Yeah, Frank doesn't exactly do precision writing. So an A joins it outside. Okay, no more A's, no more numbers inside. What about that D? What do I square to make D to the fourth? What can I have 2 of? D to the meh times D to the meh is D to the fourth. What I always do when I get stuck is I write it out. D to the fourth is how many D's?
4.
So just off to the side, write D, 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 D. 4 D's. Circle pairs. Okay, so there was 2 pairs, right? So take a D to the second outside. Yeah, that's it. When you get stuck, you can always write it out longhand. You took out everything inside, right? So that means you're done. That's it. Okay, just D in the second. Dylan, take us home, bud. Which one? I know Landon did the bottom 10. I don't think anyone did this 10. Okay. It's a nice one to pick because isn't 16 4 by 4, right? So you take a 4 out, you cut the B in half, alakazam, you're done. Got it, dude. That's it. Yo, I hope you get from this. When we are in volunteer or get drafted mode, it is best to volunteer first. This also goes in your other classes. You know when you have the, like everyone's been working on something for 3 weeks and then you got to do presentations?
Yeah.
Always go first.
Yeah. Then you get it over.
Because you set the bar low. Or at least that's what I did. I set the bar low. Because what happens when you let everyone else go in front of you and you drag your feet till the end? Everyone's got that expectation. And if you don't hit that expectation, you feel terrible. If you go first, like there is no precedent. I get to set the bar. I get to do what I want. I set the tone. Okay, so please, when it's volunteer or get drafted mode, volunteer. Get it over with. Do the one you know how to do. Okay? Yes, sir.
Is that for like
Now try being a teacher. We get real good at reading the indecipherable. Y'all know what's coming next. We just did, what, 12, 15 of the problems on this page? The rest of them are yours. You got about, what, 12, 15 minutes? Go ahead and get them. Everything that we did not already do, the rest is yours. Before we just dive in on that, a couple of items of housekeeping that I got to get out of the way. I shouldn't have done it at the beginning of class and I just forgot. Okay, Shane had a good point. I really did intend on having everyone's grades in Thursday night. I really did. Thursday night, my neck and head hurt so bad I was seeing stars, I just had to lay down. Okay, like to the point I was nearly puking. I don't know, something's up with my neck. I didn't get it done that day. Friday, had to take my kid into the clinic, double ear infection. Okay, pretty common after RSV actually because of all of the extra fluid. So I spent like, y'all, I wish I had grades in. I really do. But sometimes life happens. I try to be flexible with you, so I expect it in return. I can't change the fact that everyone else in my house got sick for 2.5 weeks straight. I can't change the fact that we had to go to the clinic 3 times now. Life happens. I'll get it in. Okay? Now, whether I get that grade in now or whether I got it in 2 weeks ago isn't going to change what your grade is. You can't just magically change your grade because now you know it. All right? Now, I will try to have everything in as soon as possible, but you will have your second quiz on Wednesday. Okay? So there'll be 2 quizzes, 2 sets of daily work in for, y'all know what Thursday is? Midterm. Okay? So if you have not done one of the quizzes 2 weeks later, then you might want to get on that so it doesn't show up as a big honkin' missing in the gradebook. Okay? Thursday is midterm. That means all grades will be finalized as of 8 a.m. on Wednesday next week. Like, y'all are sophomores. Last year was a giant crapshoot. You know how this works? Like, maybe, could be, chance of. So, all right, today, 1.4C, Wednesday, is going to be quiz number 2. Thursday is a maroon day, and it is the end of the midterm, quarter 1 midterm. You do not have classes on Friday because we are stuck in a bunch of boring meetings. Okay? You get a 3-day weekend. Okay? After that, on Wednesday at 8 a.m., the grades are posted. That means after that point, you are not changing that grade at all. Period. You can't. I can't. I can't change your quarter 1 midterm grade after that time. That's also when the Spartan time release or Spartan time list gets released. Okay, so that's maroon, maroon, maroon. Usually they're nice to you and say this is when Spartan time list gets released. This is when it goes into effect, the next maroon day. That's wrong, right? I got that wrong. Because you guys don't have school. I keep thinking because I have to come in on Friday. That's maroon, so that's maroon, so that's maroon. There we go. So Spartan time list will take effect on Thursday.
So wait, is midterm this week or next week?
This is the end of the midterm. Teachers have a couple of days to get the grades in.
Oh, so midterm is this Thursday.
Because a lot of teachers like to have tests those 2 days before the end of the midterm. Usually you get slammed at the end of the midterms and quarters with tests. Okay? Which it has been the X amount of days of instruction. So we are going to have our second quiz on Wednesday. On Yeah, it's open everything, dude. On this Thursday, you get a Maroon Day early release, just like Friday. Because this day, you go 1, 2, 3, lunch, Spartan time. If you are not on the Spartan time list, you do not have to show up. If you're not on the Spartan time list. Because that day is parent-teacher conferences. Here's how parent-teacher conferences go for my room. 99% of every question that a parent could have, 99% of what I tell a parent when they come in for conferences, it's on my website right now. If they would just read, they would know. Okay? I also send out an announcement, and I update the current events on my webpage, and I send that out to everyone before we have conferences. So I tell all the parents, look, if you don't know where stuff is, here it is. If you don't know this is where it is. This is what's been going on in class. This is where everyone's sitting and by their class grades. I tell parents all of that ahead of time so that the only ones who should be coming in and asking questions are ones who have very specific questions concerning why does their kid have such a craptacular grade, and then they come in and I tell them, well, they sit there with their head down on the desk the whole time. Well, they don't turn in anything. Well, they won't even pick up a pencil when all we got to do is copy things down. Well, everything is on YouTube, and they could do it at any time after class, but they have refused to do that. I give them all of that information, and then they go home and renew a new orifice. So please, get your crap together by the end of the week, or at least come have a conversation with me. Now, if you're doing what you're supposed to, I love using parent-teacher conferences to brag you up. If you know that you're doing solid in here, come with your parents. Come with your guardian. Because then I get to brag you up in front of your parental unit. And I tell them to buy you a new phone or a puppy or something. Okay? If you're doing what you're supposed to. Maybe things started off rocky. Maybe the first couple of weeks weren't very good, but now all of a sudden you're starting to get engaged in class. I will tell them that. I will tell them there is a difference. I can tell that she's actually trying now. I can tell that they really want to learn. I can tell a difference. So expect things to change in the next couple of weeks. I would love to tell them that. Okay?
So is everyone on the parent-teacher conference?
They come in if they want to. It's from 3:30 to 7:30. Or is right? They didn't change it this year because of the different day? Okay. 3:30 to 7:30. The doors are wide open for 4 hours. There's usually a rush right at 3:30 and again around 5:30. I expect that I won't have many, maybe a little more this year because I got freshmen, but no. So just want you all to know what's coming up. Again, life happened, grades aren't in because I can't control that. I will get them in as soon as I can. All right? That's on me, not on you. So, that worksheet, have it ready next time you come in. We're going to do a review and quiz.